Steven. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're watching the final episode of Spare Me Your Mercy. It took me a moment here to muster enough courage to finally watch the final episode. It's more like, actually, it's less of me being scared of like the finale, I guess, and what's gonna happen, but it's more of like, I don't want this series to end. I think it's one of the best series I've watched in 2024. The quality, the content, and the actors. Obviously, Dar and Jailer are both amazing actors who are well known for their actings and stuff like that, so I knew coming in this was going to be amazing, but at the same time, it kind of exceeded my high expectations of the series overall. So I'll talk more about that later at the end, but I do have some business to take care of before we start. So I put out a few like posts on my Patreon on like what I was gonna watch after the series ends. Obviously, this is the final episode, and I usually do this and stuff like that if I didn't have anything lined up. And I first put out a post asking what people thought about two series, uh, Pet Richer and Mate. Mate is a BL/GL mix, and the other one is a criminal series and criminal like mystery series similar to Spare Me Your Mercy, a little bit like 4 Minute as well too, but like um for both series I've heard negative reviews on, and Mate, the biggest concern for me was the author of the novel from the series. Never really liked anything that they've made, and though they've made that, they also wrote Pluto, it was heavily changed by GMM TV and Snap, so I was like, okay, and I enjoyed it a lot more. And I've heard people talking about like the novel compared to the series version, how it's so different. So like that's the big reason why I love Pluto so much. But for every other series I've watched that has been adapted from this person's novel, I've hated. So I'm really questioning. But I've heard like some good reviews like here and there, but like majority some negative reviews. And then for the other series, the crime one, I was very excited for this. You guys know that I was excited for it. And then episode 1 came out, and then I found out that Spare Me Your Mercy was 2 episodes a week instead of 1. So like, ooh, I can't do that many episodes of shows on Patreon a week. So I was like, okay, let me finish this series because it's gonna be only like a month long and to start this series. But as time went on, the more negative reviews has put out, and it was not just like the content of it, it was also the acting and also the production overall is really badly made. And I heard like they were like rushing it, and the actresses were like really tired and stuff like that. So I'm like, ooh, it's gonna bother me a lot. And then I put into account that if I chose that series to watch right after a series like Spare Me Your Mercy, which is phenomenal acting, well made, well written, even though they have the same screenwriter, I think, it's gonna be like, I'm gonna be contrasting apples to oranges, and it's like, ooh, because like even though they're from the same genre, they're very different stories, but like I will be comparing to them. And if the um what's it called, like how amazing it Spare Me Your Mercy is, and you put me watching a show that is very not as greatly made, and I compare it, I'm gonna have so much negative review and not as fun watching it. So I decided I'm gonna let you guys choose, and you guys gave me a lot of mixed reviews as well, and I was like, ooh, that is a big concern, because like I want to watch something that like I'm gonna enjoy a lot and you guys are gonna enjoy a lot as well. So I put in 2 other series. I put like I put up a poll like a few days ago of like what you guys want to watch, and I put in 2 other BLs that I had my eyes on for a little bit. Simi and Down is something that I found out like a couple days ago, and didn't really know what it was. It seems interesting, but like I don't really like it. Seems interesting, but like if I don't watch it, react to it, I'm fine. I'll probably watch it once it like by myself once it like finish airing. Um, Internal Butler, it was something I had known that it was coming out, but didn't know it was coming out so soon. It's from the same universe as another Taiwanese BL. I forgot the name of it too, but it's about like AI and like romance. Is very interesting. Taiwan has a lot of really interesting like ways of writing romance stories, which is really creative and different. And the winner currently, at the time I'm filming this, is like 50% Internal Butler. And I think the big part is I put in that it's lighthearted and it's not as stressful as Fear of Your Mercy, and that's a big part of why I really want to watch it too. Is because like I am so stressed out from all the series that I'm watching. Like the thing is, I've been watching The Heart Killer, I've been watching Pluto, which is really stressful, and then I'm watching Spirit of Mercy. Like those are really highly emotional, highly stressful series to watch. So like, I was like, I need something fun and cute, and then you guys chose that too. So the next series I'll be watching is The Eternal Butler. Okay, so that being said, let's get into the final episode of Spare Me Your Mercy. We're done eating. I need to focus. Oh my god. Oh my god. People said this is a bromance movie show. Like, what the fuck are you watching? Oh no. His wound.
โทษทีเดี๋ยวผมไปเอายามาให้
Sorry. Oh my god. They're kissing! Feels as somebody who has known Thor and JJ for so long, since 9x9, even before 9x9. Okay, I've seen their series before 9x9, like obviously, and like they're good friends, and like I've always wanted them to do BL, and we're getting it, and then them together, it's like I did not watch Great Man Academy. It was not my cup of tea. I don't know. I just felt like it was weird, so I didn't watch it. And like it was some kind of a BL, not really, it's more of like a bromance to me. But you know how satisfying this is? It's so fucking satisfying. And do I wish that they might do other projects together? I definitely do. I do wish that. I do wish they do that. Because like this series is the highest rated series on TV. Highest BL series on TV all year. Shows how amazing these two are. Give them more series together. But we're gonna repeat because I'm obsessed with these two. Oh. Ooh.
ฉันยืนยันว่าฉันจะทำหน้าที่หมอนิติเวชอย่างดีที่สุด
Maybe I spoke too soon.
คุณอย่าพลาดก็แล้วกัน
Oh, okay. She said just don't make mistakes. Just do what you can, but like hush it. Woo. Flowers. It means he
ระวังหมอนะ
forgiveness. He forgave him. Well, that is my reaction to the final episode of Spare Me Your Mercy, and I saw the ending of it because I personally was not going to be able to sit here and enjoy the show without knowing exactly what happens. I think it's just too much for me, and so I searched it up before I think right after the episode aired. No. When did I do it? I think Sunday. It was Sunday. Yeah, it was Sunday. I forgot when this aired, honestly. It was Christmas last week, guys. I was like hella drunk. But whatever. Yeah. So I saw that scene where he was handcuffed and the flowers given to him, because I follow this person who translates a lot of Thai stuff, and they're talking about like the meaning of it, like the meaning of the flower and the I love you part, like that. So I had some understanding, but like I just didn't know the process of how it became that way. So yeah, I think before this episode aired, even before I think episode 7 aired, there were like people were saying like, how do you think they would end up have a happy ending? And for me personally, I thought I wished it was a happy ending, in a sense, because I don't know if like my perspective of a lot of these things stem from a perspective of somebody who works in healthcare, mental health, and have training in like and understanding terminal illnesses, just illnesses in general, and just the suffering that some people have and the pain that some people go through and stuff like that. I think because coming from that like healthcare perspective, I guess I have a very different perspective on like the choices, I think, and I kind of sympathize a lot more with Gun compared to 2. I think like there is I don't want to call him selfish because he's abiding by the law, but at the same time, it's like I really enjoy that saying. It's like maybe sometimes the law is wrong because I think a law is put into place because people who are writing the law thought it was the right way, and I think there's a huge debate right now in the United States about abortion and just a lot of medical health things, and a lot of medical things are being decided upon, all these laws that are related to medicine and all these rights that humans have are made by people who, one, don't fully understand what exactly is going on or don't have any education on it. So for example, I don't want to be like controversial, which it shouldn't be, but for like abortion rights in the United States, these laws are made by white men who, one, never had a formal education on medicine, two, are not women, and three, who are rich and privileged. So at the end of the day, like these people making assumptions about things and making laws about these assumptions that they have on abortion really kind of like sours the perspective of things. So in similar ways, I think for my sympathy goes for Gunn because he is somebody who, one, witnessed it with his own family, two, works in medicine, works in palliative care, watching these people suffer with cancer diagnosis, terminally ill illnesses, who suffer in pain like these, they're in agony, and like he said, even morphine, which is a really strong painkiller, are not suppressing these pain. Like to live like that and suffering and being hooked onto devices for days on end and not living, you're just using a tube to help you breathe in many circumstances if you have to be intubated and stuff like that. Like that, that feeling, like I just like coming from me, firstly, if I was a healthcare provider that works like Gunn in the career like Gunn, like I wouldn't be able to do it. Like pumping these drugs and pumping these and putting them on these machines, like, it's very uncomfortable for me to even think about making them suffer. And in addition, I have to keep preface this, I think a lot of my thoughts and opinion does come from that medical side of me, as well as I live in a state where assisted suicide is legal, so we were taught in many ways how to handle these cases if it were to happen in the mental health aspect of it, for obvious reasons. Actually, is it obvious? I think I talk about it a lot. I think a lot of my decisions and thoughts and theorizing a lot comes from that kind of perspective of me too. So if you haven't watched my other stuff, I'm a grad student who is working towards a therapy license. But yeah, so once again, I sympathize with Gunn a lot, and I think Two's perspective is kind of, in the sense, more skewed because he wants to be this amazing police officer who abides by the law and wants to follow the law to the T. What's illegal is illegal, what's legal is legal. But I think in many cases where like what I wanted from the ending was we see to kind of understand what Gunn was saying and sympathize with his, like, not even sympathize with Gunn, but sympathize with his mother, and like hear out what Gunn had to say about his mother and understand that your mother wanted this because she was suffering, and like what her mother wanted, what her wishes were. And I don't want to say we didn't get that, because I see this ending as an open ending, because yes, we see him handcuffed, but we also saw the I forgive you and I love you from Two, and we didn't end up at a police station. So I think anything could happen. I think you can use your imagination to see what it ends. And for me personally, when I saw that scene, my imagination is there was a moment where he thought that like he was emotional. He has his law to uphold, so he arrested him. But after he cooled down on the drive back, he realizes a lot of things and kind of like thought through it, and end of the day, he didn't turn him in. That's like kind of like my imagination of what's gonna happen. And for a moment there, I was thinking like, there is a book 2, but it does seem like what the synopsis that I read for book 2 seems like what kind of happened with the daughter a little bit. And once again, I only read half the first book. Now I gotta buy the second one. I really didn't want to buy the second one, but now I have to find out what exactly happens, if it's like what we saw in this episode or not. So like, could it be? Could it not be? I don't know. And I think I don't know. Like I just see it as an open ending for us. I think regardless of what happens in the novel, I don't know. I still see this can have multiple outcomes for it, and we'll never know. And the fact that they kind of like just took, I know the screenwriter was also the author, so like they just took what I think she wrote and kind of changed it to match a different story. Like I feel like it's two different stories with the same basis, so creates that open ending too. So if you're kind of sad about what happened here, once again, it just does seem more like an open ending, and the series followed the novel maybe like 30%, I think, at most. And so yeah, just a little maybe like positivity. Yeah, I think this episode was phenomenal. I think the whole series is phenomenal. I think acting, Thor and JJ does an amazing job with acting. I think like I got really emotional in that scene where Gunn was saying like all these things like about the mother and what she wanted, like just like yelling at him about the truth, like for like in his like kind of like it was like tunnel vision. Like dude has tunnel vision on like what exactly life should be about. He's a good cop, so only laws, but like for majority of like healthcare providers, because like even like comparing to like what Rin and Tu's reaction to things, like they kind of both found out that their parents were suffering and they passed away peacefully. Like their different reactions. One, in a person who has medical experience, what she said, she's like, okay, but don't make any mistakes, because that is my job to find out people who have committed crimes, because once again it is illegal. And she's like, okay, and then, but don't do it, like, you know, like, she's telling him, like, be careful, like, and then she's like, okay, well, then she left. But two, on the other hand, from a law perspective, from a police officer, I don't like police, okay? Police officer perspective, he's like, no, this is wrong, I'm gonna arrest you right now, and you're gonna confess. You know that moment there? So, like, that two differentness is showing the difference between a majority of the people around in the world and then medical professionals. I think that's the beauty of the series. She's really talking about, we're putting ourselves in the perspective of a doctor. Yeah, but that whole like that yelling scene was my favorite. I think just like he bursted out the emotions. I think this is the most emotions that we've seen Gunn expressing, in the sense of like anger, I guess, because I feel like he was genuinely angry at the situation. He's like, you just don't get it, do you? Kind of moment there. And then the hug, everything, I think that was beautiful. And like I make fun of myself when I say like, oh my god, this NC scenes were so fun to watch, but I think that the emotion scenes are definitely the ones that like hits me the hardest and I love the most. So there's that too. Yeah, I don't have much to say. The show was a roller coaster of emotions, but I loved it. I think at the end of the day, this might be my favorite BL series, or series in general. I think it's series in general, because there's BL aspect to it, but it doesn't feel like a BL story. It feels like a story that really tells about a terminally ill individuals and the pain that they've gone through and speak. I think funnily, I didn't expect to have a series so similar to Not Me so soon. I think after Jack and Joker, but I think this one does have that put that in the same realm of the series, where you have a story that have two male individuals who are gay, who fell in love with each other, but the romance is not the main part of the story. There is aspects of it in part of the storyline, but the main takeaway should not be the romance, but the fact that they're fighting for justice. I think Not Me, obviously, rights, LGBTQ rights. Jack and Joker, equity for individuals who are forced with lower SES, and in this one, rights and equity for people with terminal illnesses. All the same realm of it. I think is the beauty of it. I think I'm gonna keep talking. Sorry, this is gonna be such a long video, even though we're not watching 2 episodes. But yeah, I just have a lot to say. I have a lot of passion, and I think what Gunn has expressed and the other things, and healthcare in general, I think. So I keep blabbing. But yeah, if you like it, continue listening to me, I guess. But this series I've seen has done an impact, I think, in Thai society. I've seen a few, what the person that I'd follow on Twitter that like translated a lot of things. They also tweeted out like I think I talked about this, like different like seminars talking about palliative care and euthanasia and assisted suicide in Thailand to come open up the topic again, I guess. So it's very fascinating to see that like a show like this can, I think that's the goal of this show, was to be able to make a good series at the same time promote equity for these individuals as well too. So it was really lovely. I don't really think that one show is gonna change a law. I think in a sense, I think like maybe it is, maybe it can. That's a hope, but at the same time, realistically, I think that it takes a lot more advocation, I guess, and just people keep advocating for that right and stuff like that. But I think this does open up a lot of doors to individuals who might not know what this really means, what palliative care is, what assisted suicide, what euthanasia was, and open door for them to do their own research and put in some efforts to advocate for those rights, I think. So there's that. Yeah. So yeah, it's really beautiful. I think as I was watching the ending scene too, I was like, based on how popular this series was, watching one of the highest rated series TV releases in 2024, I was like, if they want to, if the author wants to, I would love, like, I think it diverges off what the novel, I don't know, once again, I don't know exactly what happened to the novel, but it diverges off a little bit about, like, maybe, like, what they're gonna do in book 2, but have a special episode where we don't see Gun in jail. Gun is happy and still being a doctor. Okay, even like let's say like he gets arrested and stuff like that, but instead of like arresting him, he uses that chance to have a very successful lawyer, which I saw a photo. Somebody's like, bring that lawyer up. What's films characters in Laws of Attraction? Bring him as a lawyer, and advocate and like kind of like start up this whole ruckus, this fight to change the law in Thailand. I think that would be such an amazing special episode. But like that, once again, I think it brings away from the realisticness of the series. I think one reason why they chose to have an open ending for this series is because, just like how Not Me is, we did not have a happy ending in the sense of like there was equity for everybody in the LGBTQ community, but it was a constant fight still. There is efforts moving forward that we saw through the series, just like how we saw kind of efforts moving forward in this series, but there was not a utopia of a world with everybody having all equal rights, right? So like that open ending, I think it allows the opportunity for people like us, people in the I can't say us because I already, in the state I live in, our people already have that right, but in Thai society have that like advocation, that urge to give that equity to the people and do your own thing, and it's taking what we saw from a fictional character and bring it to life and have that kind of happy ending in real life instead of just in a fictional world. But like it will be really fun to kind of have that kind of like little expectation or this movement, like start a movement in that special episode and let the people who are watching kind of do the same in their country, you know. Yeah, that's my opinion, that's my thoughts. So yeah, it was fun and everything. I really enjoyed. And I said this at the beginning, but Thor and JJ, phenomenal actors, and I do wish that they would do like another series together. Like I don't want them to like always continue to do BLs together. I think like how Jam and Film did it. They did 2 amazing series, and you know that was that, and equally agreed to move on and to pursue other things. Like I think that's a fantastic way of doing it. I think like give the fans another round of you guys together, and then we'll be happy. Obviously they're always together for like I think like promotion. They're not under the same company anymore, but they promote like I think like in similar events before and stuff like that too. So there's that. So yeah, listen to 9x9 if you haven't, because these two are phenomenal there, and watch this Their other series, if you haven't, they're phenomenal actors. Rewatch the show if you haven't, because I will probably rewatch this a few times. Not right now, but like later on. But yeah. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and follow me on my social media link down below. See you next time. Bye.